The cost of administration, we're talking about things we need to fix this place.
Well, last time, Mary, thank you if I can use your first name as
Yes, you may.
leave this on silent. Last time I started my remarks by indicating that a colleague of mine had been to a memorial service for a professor here on campus and was struck by and very alarmed to find out that all the professors there at that memorial service were dour and unanimous in their attitude that it's really painful coming to campus, that they come to campus to do their job but there's no joy here. The only saving grace is a chance to work with students and help them move along. But faculty governance has been destroyed. We're set adrift because our union doesn't have strong labor lawyers working on negotiations for our contracts. No one listens to individual faculty. It takes their complaints to heart seriously, mounts effective investigations. The entire administrative bureaucracy, when it's not perpetuating itself at higher and higher salary levels, seems to be dedicated to grinding faculty with complaints into a form of meal. So this is the reality. I mean, we don't bring it to the classroom because that's not right. We keep it out of the classroom because we're doing our jobs. But I remember a film called The Ramparts of Clay, done many years ago by French filmmaker Jean Lelouch. And one of the things he showed in the film was in a third world country, Tunisia, at some point the military was having a coup and they brought the soldiers to their little village. And the teacher took the students out of the classroom, little mud hut classroom, took them out of the classroom, and they circled the troops because he felt they had to know the larger lesson about their education and where they were in the world. And that's where we are now. We need to sort of communicate the larger issues of where we are now. We're at a real crossroads place right now. If we don't step up, the university that we went through and got our degrees in will vanish. It's already on that way. Last time I talked about reversing a trend of piling up more and more cost on students. It's a trend in California, and it retreats from a 4-decade promise that was the master plan for higher education in California. Today I want to go a little bit beyond what I talked about last time about university budgeting. I want to come at it from a different perspective. But I just want to stop and say for a moment, last time what I showed was that if you think outside the box, it's possible to reduce the cost to students here to virtually nothing when you apply scholarship money back in. We really could rethink the cost of education in California if we were clever, and probably bring back free higher education. But there's a political game that's going on in California that keeps our voices from being part of that. So today I want to come and talk about this from another point of view. I want to talk about success in the university. At this time, the university is about the only institution in our society that really confers employability and general competence upon its graduates. We tell the world of work that our graduates are prepared, knowledgeable, and ready for employment in an amazing variety of jobs. You can infer from that one of the things we do is we set our students on the path towards success. But are we setting our students off towards success? I was at a conference and I remember hearing a colleague of mine from Arizona talk about what was going on at a school, National University. This is one of these private institutions that's an online institution that seems to be becoming the model for higher education, particularly in California. We want more and more courses to go online. What was interesting, he told me, was that Motorola, National University's biggest client, was no longer satisfied with the kind of student that National University was producing for them, and they were cutting their contract with National University. What was the kind of student that they were getting? They were getting a student that was not educated in liberal arts, and they wanted students that were broad, not just narrowly focused engineers. Look what's happening on our campus. We are being told by bureaucrats, not by university faculty, that our students are only allowed to do 120 units. There's a 120 unit cap. When you come into this university, you have to know what you want to be, and you can't vary from that. You cannot have a double major. That's been outlawed now. And any kind of change will set you back, according to the administration so far, that they will virtually attach an academic advisor to you so that you will get to graduation when they consider on time and you won't become a super senior. So they're eliminating these aspects of our university environment. The double major, the person who wants to take classes outside of their discipline for the love of finding out how things are done in other disciplines. Is that right? Is it right that someone with no background in curriculum is making these decisions without consulting with the faculty on this campus? I know of no faculty governance board or panel or committee that was consulted for this change. Is our university setting students up for success when it transfers more and more classes to online instruction? And we know that our students, the kind of students that we have at this university, are the worst students to put before computers for online instruction. Our students, research shows, are the kinds of students that need to be in the presence of an instructor so that they can ask the questions and they can go over the material with the instructor explaining things to them. We don't have this kind of students that other universities may have who've had a rich background and a lot of exposure in learning and studying, who can hit the ground running with just a little bit of presentation online. But yet we're doing this. We're replacing more and more of our classes with online instruction. We're shrinking the number of live classes. We are also turning our back on hiring tenure eligible faculty, switching over to adjuncts. What impact will this have on our community? I think it's going to have a devastating impact on our community. It's going to change the nature of this university. The administration will like it because they'll say they're spending more money and they're being more efficient. But the university is not about efficiency. We're not producing widgets, we're producing citizens. And to produce a citizen is a costly endeavor. You can't bring business principles to education. Well, you can, but they don't work. Because it's apples and oranges. And it's about time that the faculty stood up and said, enough, no more, step down, go away, you don't know what you're talking about. And I would like to see more people, frankly, from the business department spearheading that, because this administration is spearheading it because they know.
I don't think business teaches what you think it does, though, sometimes. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's a little more human than you might think.
Good.
But it's a little broader in terms of, especially at an academic level, what we're trying to teach businesses to do, because we think in the long run, being broader, educating people more broadly, having more creative jobs, putting jobs together so that people can be more creative and express themselves a little bit better. I mean, we actually do teach things that aren't quite so economic/rationality
That's what I'm
based.
suggesting.
But I don't know if that message gets out there. We have a very human view. If you really dice and slice and look at what we do, we have a very human view of how employees should be treated, consumers should be treated, society should be treated. Do we always do that? No. It's always flattened by the time that it gets into a discussion of principles somewhere else. Somehow that gets lost.
I go even further. My call for the faculty to be business administrative professionals get engaged with us is not because I think they are behind the administrative positions. Quite the contrary. The administration, when they go to business plans, are using ideas that are outmoded, like 10, 15 years ago. 10, 15 years ago. So, yes, I mean, I would be surprised if your colleagues weren't at the forefront of this, looking at the way Apple does things, looking at the way Intel does things, looking at these different business environments and see how people are striving for efficiency, striving for communication, interaction, and so on to be the quality of the environment rather than the kind of issues that administration seems to be trimmed.
I would also add, because Michael and I went through this when we had a big press conference with the administration about budget back in '09 and then subsequently, that the administration's position is they have special esoteric knowledge of accounting and business, and none of us are smart enough to understand it.
Generally,
and particularly those in the arts.
Yeah.
For us to even dare to talk money.
I have the accountants in our building have made mincemeat out of them. They always talk down to them anyway.
Yeah.
They're always, it's a very interesting lack of conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been the beneficiary of that.
Yeah, that usually they end up writing back and saying, trust us, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Our accountants, and they're like, no, you guys are wrong.
You know,
Like,
hello, we all have advanced degrees. How about some transparency? Are you afraid to put it on paper?
Yeah,
Just-
and they are
trust us
Just for the
doesn't
record,
work
Michael,
for me.
tell the Dave Dowell